I've got some effects on my laptop as well.
Hi, I'm Christoven. I'm a violist. I play the viola. That's my main instrument. Although I did not touch it today, it's nice to manipulate it from afar.
Hi, my name is Ragha and I play the classical flute. And it's been a long time since I played like freely like this. I mean, I certain aspect of like free performance, get an opportunity to play it at some gigs, but to fully explore it, I think it's such a beautiful reality.
Hello, I'm Chong Shih. I play the Chinese classical instrument 𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗵𝗂𝗵, but I'm also a composer, so my life consists of these two extremes. One very ancient instrument and one very contemporary expression. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul. I use modular synthesizers and I'm interested mostly in textures and noise and sound manipulated by frequencies.
So maybe we open it back to the floor again, and maybe anybody would like to comment or ask them any questions, please feel free to do so. I think they'll pass you a mic as well so that we can capture your feed. Anybody in the audience perhaps? Very shy audience tonight.
Is this the first time before five of you got together to just...
Yeah.
Is this the first time you five got together and just jam or whatever? Yeah.
We didn't even get a chance to tune.
I was in D, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was around D.
Around D.
Yeah, so basically the genesis of QUARK is like this. QUARK comes from Quandary. So Quandary is one of our projects where we at Miao Dance have been doing for the last 3 years. It involves one dancer and one musician from any genre, both sides. And then we try to make them like a blind date together, and then we have them meet only at 5 PM on the actual day of performance itself, and then 8 PM they perform, so as to stick to the integrity of improvisation, which is also what Miao Dance is all about. And this time, because the musician artists themselves requested to sort of play with each other rather than also with the dancer alone. So we try to, since we've sort of like hooked up a fairly long network of alumni musicians, then we try to pull them back together to have them play with each other. So that's the genesis of QUARK. Yeah, but we split it up into 3 nights. So tonight is the first night. Tomorrow night will be, and the next night will be 5 different artists all together, and we totally have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah. Anybody else would like to?
Maybe just to add on to that, like how then did you all decide on this combination of the 5, or just like whoever is free then just
Sort of, yeah. But also mainly in terms of, I definitely do not want 5 digital artists all together on the same night, and nor do I want 5 acoustic artists all together. So I try to have a good mix of both sides. Yeah. And you want to ask them questions? Seems like you're asking.
Can any one of you share, maybe for the last hour, your emotional journey? Just roughly, if you're aware of it. Because, okay, I qualify why I asked. Because listening, at some point I get very frustrated. Because I think some of the sounds clash. And you're like, oh, why? Despite that. So I had that journey. So I don't know what it was like for you when you're playing, because I'm sure you're listening and something can go discordant. I don't know. And anyone, is it possible to share that?
Yeah, I think that's quite a fair question, because I think even, I mean, just for me, when I'm kind of like releasing frustration as well, and this stage is also like a place for me to exercise like vocabulary of the instrument. Like, hey, let me find new ways I can express myself on the instrument, because we are like always stuck within like certain like boundary of like playing music, right? But also because there's also like I love for like music itself. So for me, I'm just trying to find like how can I like find meaning between both at the same time, and just exploring and finding a place like also to be one with everyone, like we like maybe I assume that everybody's like expressing something together. Like how do I like support those stuff? So if you receive the frustration, then actually not bad. We did quite a good job, I think. And so the message is communicated. Okay.
I like to share, like, I mean, being a trained composer, I mean, I don't know whether I'm reading your comments correctly. I feel like sometimes I would not want something to happen, but then it happened. So as a composer, I like, just to be a composer, you know, do a lot of things before to prepare for the piece. So there's a lot of preparation, design, and thinking that goes a month into it, right, to decide the piece. So then this kind of process is good because it turns out things that are unexpected. So sometimes the most frustrating things are really the most exciting things, because it's like, it challenges me. I guess it's like what you say, kind of like bring you out of what you wouldn't usually like to have. But then when somebody like throws in something that's like, I said I'm gonna do that, right? And that got me on my toes. And then also in that sense, I just agree, rather like how then it forces me to rethink like this instrument. What else can I do with it in response to that unexpected or unwanted, so-called unwanted sound? And I feel like in that way, I guess the freedom is not like so much like anything goes, but the freedom is like, it's more like it opens you up to possibilities and also to responsibility, as in that, how can I be responsible for this collective sonic environment in that sense? Like, what kind of role can I play within it? So that's the kind of thought processes that went through my mind, intellectually, that's speaking. I mean, of course, you're asking about emotionally, but then I guess it's finding that sweet spot, because sometimes you can overthink, and there's no time to overthink. in a situation like this. The moment just passes. And so sometimes you have to just relax, accept it, let it go, and then you just let your body guide you. I don't know whether you'll share like the same experience. Like the more frustrated you are, the more you have to kind of like sit with it and then stay with it, and then things come. I don't know. That kind of experience I find very precious.
For me, I deliberately like to challenge audiences. I gravitate towards like noise and static, and there is a kind of relationship between like noise and free jazz. Like personally, for me, I didn't know what to expect from the night, but it really excited me in some sense because there was a strong sense of free jazz improvisation. So there was this freedom to like just drop things, just to make noise, and to use whatever sound modules I have to interject and deliberately like play with feedback, while consciously on some level, allowing the musicians to bring in the melodies and the structures. But I've always come from the camp of no real melody, no real structure. I like to deliberately throw out static and noise. So for me, it was quite enjoyable in that sense.
Other two artists might want to chime in, perhaps, if you have.
Oh, me?
I think I'm a lot more free. You know how like you go to a playground and then like all you have is everything you have. You see the person there and then like, okay, yeah, it's a bit like that kind of open playground. I think as a little bit more mature, I think that there comes another level of philosophy. Yeah, what are the forms of play that you want to play with? Is it basic, like I play with you, or do you want to go to the next stage where I'm like, let me see how I can tailgate you, and then the next thing would be like, let me try to push you off the edge. Kind of a little bit of that kind of element. Also, the element of unexpected is also really what I really like. I use a conventional instrument, balloon. It's been one of my new favorite. But it's not just that. It's also the sound of how people relate to that whole level of sound, because there's something very sexual about it. Latex-ish. But there's also this anxiety and fear and the joy. When you see a balloon, where are we going? With this. So there's this whole thing there that exists, and I also like to imagine that the musicians are not sure what am I going to do with them. So there's this element of teasing also. It's very, masochist, a little bit, like how I can get them there, and and then there's that smacking sound and all that, and then all of this happens while I'm not touching the viola, which teases me, because like I don't want to touch the instrument if I'm teasing everybody. There's this whole, where are we going? Oh my god, like that, and then the viola is just there doing what it has been doing in the past like 2,000 years, which is like making sound. But then again also like I kind of want to drive in a new like motor with the instrument, so I kind of like use my iron synth, sort of very basic. And what I did was that like I kind of like live record some of the sounds that they made, and then I just like make my viola like replay it back to them. So it's kind of like a kind of moment. You can't get me. Yeah, I haven't even moved, but I kind of made some response to what's been happening. So it's sort of like, it's really, I think there's a mental play, which I really like. Of course, I took a day to think about it, maybe more than a day. But it really involves this kind of like where are we going? You know, like let's put your hand and you sure? Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, actually, I would like to respond to the feeling of frustration. I think I am frustrated with the keyboard. I teach piano. I play everything. In fact, this is my work, and actually I want to break it. But then, I think how do I go beyond it? Well, actually, I end up finishing whole sentences because the noise didn't just come from him, me too. You probably know that or didn't know that. And so sometimes it wasn't Paul, it was actually me. But I was trying to keep track of how many times you drop stuff. And then I gave up in the end. Actually, I wasn't counting. It was just mostly listening. But I think frustration, maybe insofar that we deal with uncertainty, and improvisation is really about, how do we resolve whatever dissonances and just from it, or not. Maybe it resolves itself if you play D long enough. That's just instrument is in D, by the way, so that's cool. And so is Ragha, right? So we have that in common. I have all 88 keys, so I can play any key. But I was also listening out for little fragments of melody, riffs. But I think my frustration is the fact that, yes, I always end up playing chords or playing harmony, and that can be either or. And yes, and I'm actually trying to break that. So, yeah. So I think we're in the business of trying to break things and mend things as we go along. There's a bit of 𝗊𝗶𝗵𝗶 going on there.
Could we hear from the audience? Maybe we could hear from the audience, like, what are the things you all heard that works for you, that you really like? And what are the things that you hear that you have questions on? Like, are there passages that you can recall that you feel like, I don't know what's going on there? Or there are passages that you thought, this is really general, or things like, I'd like to hear some responses from the audience.
Anyone in the audience, perhaps? You have to raise your hand. Don't feel shy. It's just a very intimate setting here. Any of the ladies or even 𝗁𝗊𝗿?
I know the feedback was driving her a bit crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
That was okay.
It was only one time. But I think that, so for me, when I listen to elements like this, I like to think of the proverb, and I'm not entirely sure where it comes from, but it is when you understand how things are or what things are, then things are what they are. And when you don't understand what they are what they are. And I like to go to events like this because it gives me an opportunity of just immersing myself into the moment and not. There is no way that I can predict what's going to come. There is no way that I can be frustrated by what's to come or not to come. Things are going to come, and it's going to be interesting and enjoyable. And there is no need to judge anything. When you go to a classical concert, you would go, all the intonation was a little bit out, or I'm not sure I'm in favour with this tempo, or why is this person using this vibrato and not that vibrato? There is absolutely no expectation. And I find that very, very enjoyable because it becomes a very a meditative kind of state where I can be totally in the moment. So thank you so much for giving us this beautiful event.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience perhaps would like to share or answer the query to what you saw or you felt? Whether you felt irritated or whether you felt, yeah. Anybody else? Personally, I just feel like it is all, I mean, as a dance improviser as well, we try to see the parallels between both genres and stuff. But very often, the parallels are not so similar because I feel like the textures of the music genre tend to be more varied than in dance. A lot of dance is very visual. It's the lines, it's the energy, time, space, energy. We can't escape these. But music transcends some of those boundaries, in fact, when it comes to space, when it comes to energy, when it comes to even timing, in particularly timing as well. So people who come in, like just now, one question asked was some parts that were not matching or irritating and clashing, and then how do you resolve that? I think more importantly was how does the musician feel like it's time to take a smoke break or take a chill pill, and then it's not my turn. I'll let it be. Maybe I throw this question back to you guys. When do you take a chill pill? Any of you?
Maybe I say something. My instrument is actually acoustically very limited. It's not designed to play loud, and it does not speak. Everything about the design of the instrument makes it not speak. And so, in a contemporary modern sense, it's kind of counterintuitive, the instrument design like that. But it was designed like that for very classical Chinese ideals of a gentleman that is reticent and quiet. And then to have such a gentleman participate in sometimes it is just I thought about responsibility, right? Because then in my early years when I started doing this kind of thing with this instrument, I've always tried to fly under the radar so that my teacher does not know that I'm playing it like this, because I can be disowned from his image in that sense, right? Because it's almost sacrilege in that sense. So, but nowadays I feel that when I talk about being responsible, I feel like because acoustically it has a certain characteristic, I always find that then how do I know how much to push it beyond its character in that sense, right? And so that includes, I guess, taking coffee breaks as well. Because sometimes I think that just being quiet and not doing anything is really what the instrument is part of the instrument sonically as well. So in that sense, what I guess I'm trying to say is that it's not just about being sounding, but it's also, I guess Jason is quite right to say, to jump in on this very particular question, it's like when should we just keep quiet? And I think that for this particular instrument, if you know the classical repertoire, it's all about keeping quiet and knowing when. And so almost the sound is the context for the silence rather than the other way around. So yeah, so I just thought maybe I should highlight this.
Any of the other artists would like to address that question, perhaps?
Maybe I can jump in on that. So, because you're asking what we enjoy, right? Actually, I really appreciated how much your instrument, or you were kind of filling out the sound. Like, it felt like it was very stable and reliably present. Right, and I enjoyed the moments where there was some space where I could I can hear, and then the pleasure of that. I think sometimes when I'm listening to jams or watching improvs, I always find pleasure in seeing how people are stretching themselves and or just like the moments when you're extra having fun playing, right? And I think also then for you, I felt like towards the end there was that one moment when you were doing like a lot more. Actually, like Li-Chuan, you were re-watching him and kind of trying to support him in that, and I felt like that was also quite a precious moment to see you being able to like, yeah, just do what I want. And actually people are picking up on that and supporting that. Yeah, I think I also appreciated when Ragha took the flute and you were playing it from the middle. So again, just like seeing the ways in which like people are playing actually more with traditional instruments than with, because I feel like, I see. Like, I mean, it's visually very interesting. And I feel like I was very aware of how both of you are quite careful about the visual composition as well, like not just the oral composition. And then the kind of like, so then how are the traditional instruments being played with in a visual sense as well was then fun for me to watch as a kind of comparison between the ways that you all were playing. I think there's something there about the combination. I mean, I think that's what I was asking about, like how you came up with these five, because I was like, I really enjoyed having both like a very strong melodic bass in a way, and then the kind of like disruptions that made me appreciate like the melodies when they came in, and harmonies actually when they came in, like it really, I feel like sometimes melodies underrated. Or like people just want to break things, right? And I think this kind of like breaking things and mending things is quite precious in improvisations. Like it's not always about breaking, or like, like the whole they talk about like drag and alienation or the V effect, and people always think it's about like the distancing, the alienation, but you need to draw close before the alienation makes a difference, right? It's really the silence and all for like, then the sound has a different texture to it. So the harmony was appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, similarly, I think it's really interesting because at some point where it goes then suddenly it's like the melody and the soft tones come through the clouds, and you hear it, and that makes it something special. And personally, the balloons, oh my god, it's really triggering for me. That was really interesting because before the part where it burst, I was totally okay with that. Wow, really interesting. But after it burst, it became a balloon for me. And every time you use it, I am no longer a passive receiver. So that was really interesting in that sense of how, and if I don't look at it, I can still deliver it a bit more. But when I look at the visual and audio, there was also that moment of, the whole body was involved in this whole thing. So that was a really interesting experience. And
So I'm also glad that you can see the entire end of this. Yeah. Vanilla, just vanilla ice cream.
thank you.
Yeah, so maybe I just quickly touch on something that 𝗁𝗂𝗆 mentioned also, which is how the IP stand together. Of course, one is the schedule, but two is also my consideration of digital and acoustic. Number three is really my imagination of it, my prediction of what it might turn out to be based on what I know of them and what the sounds might be like. But then I also wanted to play with the possibility of what else can they possibly churn out that can, break my expectations of that. And it's much like how we play for 𝗀𝗵𝗿 as well in our matchmaking. So here we have 5 of them throwing all together. So 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 doesn't necessarily equal to 5. Yeah, that is how I see it. Any last questions? If not, we will close the session today.
Well, tomorrow there will be euphonium, right?
Yeah.
And the night after we have bagpipes.
Bagpipes. Yeah. So please do come again if you're interested. Please help to spread the word as well. Tomorrow will be a totally different slate. I guess it will not be in D. Yeah, so hope to see some of you guys back again tonight, tomorrow night. And thanks once again. Can you give them a round of applause and for yourself for being here with us. So we have 2 more nights of QUARK, and then on Sunday we actually have quandary for this month, which is between 𝗵𝗵𝗹𝗃, who plays the mandolin and sings, as well as 𝗵𝗵𝗹𝗃. 𝗵𝗵𝗹𝗃 is a hip-hop dancer. Yeah, so quite a lot of programs going on this weekend. See you guys, and feel free to mingle. Thank you.